Hello and welcome to GC360, your source for the latest news and stories from the heart of our community and beyond. I'm Amali Sengupta and we have a packed show for you today.
And I'm Simran Puri. Whether you're a student, faculty member, or just someone interested in what's happening in our community, GC360 is here to keep you informed and engaged. Coming up, changes in national policy can mean big shifts in local classrooms. We took a look at the class of 2025 and how COVID impacted their college years. And what about Georgia College makes it special for students and faculty? This is GC360, where news comes full circle. Welcome to GC360. An executive order from President Trump shifts the balance of power in education, moving control from the federal level to the states. Margot Peters went to find out what this means for Georgia's education.
Recently, President Donald Trump signed an executive order that transfers more control over education to states and cities rather than the federal government. It's causing debate, especially in Georgia. But what does this mean for students, teachers, and the education system? How will it impact future educators' careers? Education major Emmy Carter gave her thoughts.
I think it'll affect, if you move schools or move districts, then it'll affect, having to adapt to their standards, especially with that power being in the states now. It could look different depending on where you're teaching. And also with school funding, if you're teaching in a low-income area, then you might struggle with that more and struggle to find resources.
Some fear this executive order could widen the divide between richer and poorer schools. Wealthier districts may have the flexibility to improve curriculums and access more resources, while poorer schools could be left behind, struggling to meet basic needs. The big question is whether this change will really help all students or just the ones in well-funded districts. Education major Claire Riley had a say in this.
I see more positive impacts on the more developed schools, which could be higher funding and better facilities and better departments or whatever. But for more underfunded schools, I feel like it could really damage them with the lack of funding, which could damage the quality of the education that they're getting out there.
With more control in the hands of state and local leaders, some believe that education can be tailored to better fit the needs of students and communities. But will this lead to lasting improvements?
I would say giving state autonomy and giving state leaders the chance, state and district leaders the chance to say what they want to be taught, and with that adapting to the needs of the community and individual students, that will help, and applying learning in a way that is most understandable to them.
As the debate continues, the impact of the executive order remains unclear. Will local control create stronger, more adaptable education systems, or will it widen existing gaps between schools? Educators, students, and policymakers will be watching closely as these changes take shape in Georgia and beyond. Reporting for GC360, I'm Margot Peters.
The class of 2021 lost their high school graduation to COVID-19. As college graduation approaches, Annie Mitchell looks at how the pandemic still shapes students' academic journey and what graduation means to them.
Graduation is approaching, and as the seniors of GCSU are preparing to graduate and enter the real world, all of the emotions are flooding back. Graduating high school in 2021 in the heights of COVID changed their experience for a normal graduation. I spoke to Mallory Free, a current senior mass communications major here at Georgia College, on how she feels as graduation is approaching in her high school graduation experience.
Graduating from high school is obviously so different from graduating college. You're not about to go back to school unless you're going to get your master's or a different degree. You're going into the real world of getting a job for the rest of your life, which is crazy. Going into a new stage of life and not having anybody hold your hand at that point.
As the seniors enter the real world and begin to get jobs, reality soon sets in. Mallory spoke on her high school graduation experience.
I would definitely say graduation, it obviously got a lot better because that was the year after it hit, so I think that it was just kind of a norm for us at that point. And we had to wear masks like in line for graduation, but at graduation we didn't have to wear them, and our seats were a lot farther apart, so they weren't like together, which was kind of weird, but I would say overall like it was okay, but it was just kind of something that we had to get used to.
High school and college graduation are very different, and for 4 years later, they're going to feel even more strange.
So just kind of like looking back as how far I've come, and this place has shaped me into the girl that I am and like the woman that I've become. I'm very grateful for this place. Like, it's fabulous here, and the MassCom organization is awesome. So just looking back and being kind of emotional of like all the things that like I've accomplished, or like that it's taught me, or the lessons that I've learned, the people that I've met and the connections that I've made, has just been something that I've been thinking about a lot recently.
Reporting for GC360, I'm Annie Mitchell.
Everything happens for a reason, and the best reasons bring us to Milledgeville. Amli Sengupta spoke with students and faculty about why they chose GCSU.
Georgia College is more than just a campus, it's a community. I spoke with lecturer Austin Cook about why he loves teaching here and why he recommends other professors seeking teaching opportunities to come to Georgia College.
My favorite thing about Georgia College is the teaching format reminded me a lot of my favorite classes that I took when I was at undergrad. I went to an R1 university, so it was very heavy research focused, but my specific department had more of a liberal arts focus, where everyone had small production classes, they got to know their students, they got to know their names, what they wanted to do. And when I was looking at Georgia College, it gave me a similar feel, and when I interviewed here, I really felt that sense of community, and that's something I really look at when I look at places that I would want to teach. I would say that if you love teaching and you also want to continue to pursue like creative endeavors or your research, whatever you choose to do, I think it's a great fit for it. There is a lot of teaching, but if you love teaching, like I do, I wanted to be here because I love teaching, then it's a really great place to be.
Whether you're finishing up your final year or just getting started, Georgia College offers something special to every student. Senior Molly Geraci shares what made her experience great at Georgia College and the things that stood out to her most during her time here.
So I chose to come to Georgia College because, number one, the campus is so pretty, especially in like the fall and spring. But I really like that the classes are smaller. Most of my professors know my name, which I don't think you could find that at a bigger school. And it just helps me get information down better when I can form a better connection with my professors. Also, the sororities here are very much like home, away from home. Everyone there is like super nice and welcoming, and it's a good way to get involved with the community and the school itself, because they plan like date nights and socials, and we have like Greek week. It's just a good way to kind of get a better feel for the community here.
With one of our biggest classes yet this school year, over 1,800 new students, there are many things that stand out about a smaller school. Freshman Marley Rogers explains what made her decision to continue her education at Georgia College a no-brainer and how her first year here has been.
I chose Georgia College because they have a really good education program, and I really loved the campus when I toured it. And after a lot of praying, I realized I didn't need to tour anywhere else, and it was a quick decision for me. I love it. I have no complaints. I joined a sorority, and I got involved in a lot of ministries, and I've met so many amazing people. I've made so many friends, and my professors have been great. I've made awesome grades. It's been easy to manage my time, and I seriously have no complaints.
With a predicted record-breaking number of students for the class of 2026, Georgia College has something for everyone. Reporting for GC360, this is Amli Sengupta. Coming up on GC360, we'll recap what Milledgeville did to celebrate Flannery O'Connor's 100th birthday.
And GCSU is known for its rich history. We'll take a look at our school's preservation efforts.
And have you ever wondered how GCSU landscaping brings color to campus? All of this and more on GC360, where news comes full circle.
Andalusia Farm served as the home of the famed author Mary Flannery O'Connor. There's a ton of stuff that college students can come and enjoy. On top of that, this is a wonderful and beautiful place for Georgia College seniors to come and have some of their portraits done. But even more so than that, we have a nature trail down by the pond, which is about 2 miles long. It is very, very beautiful. And we also have Astor and Mrs. Shirley, our two top of the were pretty fun to visit as well.
Welcome back. This year marks 100 years since the birth of American novelist Flannery O'Connor. Georgia College paid tribute with a week of events, including a display of her artwork. Araceli Ramsey has the story.
This year marks the 100th birthday of renowned Southern Gothic writer Flannery O'Connor, and Georgia College is honoring her legacy with a week of events celebrating her life and artwork. At the Magnolia Ballroom, visitors were treated to a visual art exhibit featuring a new resurfaced artwork by O'Connor herself. Many pieces painted during her time living at Andalusia Farm.
So, they found visual art. A lot of it is some of it's childhood, but a lot of it was painted on property. So we're getting to see the farm as she saw it, kind of in an interesting way, with inhabitants, whether it be birds or flowers, or potentially her mother or guests, or even with the unidentified portraits of the two African American women that we think are, or the African American woman and a girl who we think are farm workers, kind of getting to see the farm how she saw it in a way, and that's really cool.
The exhibit is part of a broader campus-wide celebration of O'Connor's legacy, highlighting not just her writing, but her talent as a visual artist.
It was really exciting to be able to share this new art, or newly discovered, newly resurfaced, whatever verb you want to put with it. For her 100th, it seems like it's such a cool anniversary. It's the centennial. It's 100 years. So really packing a punch by having this all be displayed now and being here in Magnolia temporarily so that more of the campus could see it today.
Over at Andalusia Farm, where O'Connor lived from 1951 until her death in 1964, fans and family gathered to celebrate the author's life and legacy at the place she called home.
So I'm very excited to be celebrating Flannery's 100th birthday, just because I have been here myself since about 2019, and so to see her legacy, last as long as it has is really exciting. And it's also really fun, and it's been very enjoying to have the surviving family come up and celebrate with us as well, tell us stories about the family, stories about Flannery, about Regina, about Miss Louise Florencourt. So I think that's probably one of my favorite parts about celebrating Flannery's birthday this year.
Flannery at 100 isn't just a celebration of the past, it's a reminder of how her influence continues to inspire readers, writers, and artists today. Reporting for GC360, I'm Araceli Ramsey.
Georgia College's historic buildings have been renovated throughout the years, but their history still lives on. Whitney Welch takes us inside the buildings of Georgia College to uncover the stories they hold.
The buildings at Georgia College are full of history, with each one telling a story of the past. GCSU was founded in 1889 as the Georgia Normal and Industrial College and served as a teacher training institution for just women. Georgia College is filled with historic landmarks, including antebellum homes, museums, and the Governor's Mansion. The Director of Historic Museums, Danny Schulze, explains the history of the Governor's Mansion and its current use.
So the purpose for the mansion when it was originally constructed was as a residence for the governors of Georgia. So 8 different governors ended up living here, and then it was turned into a museum, which is what it is today.
She also explained how the tour process works at the mansion.
So tours are available at the mansion every day from Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., with the last tour beginning at 4, and on Sundays from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., again with the last tour beginning at 4. So on our tours, they are roughly an hour long, and visitors can get a guided experience with one of our docents who have historic knowledge and go through every one of our public rooms available.
History professor Jessica Wallace speaks about the Humber White House, which was built in the 1800s by the Humber family.
So it's right next to, the governor's mansion near the state capitol where GMC is now, but there wasn't actually a house there until about the 1870s, when 2 sisters, Phoebe and Barbara Lindrum, decided to move to Milledgeville to open a dress shop, and they did that, and then they bought the land where Humber White is today, and they built a house there.
The Governor's Mansion and the Humber White House are just a few of the many historic buildings showcased at Georgia College. Reporting from GC360, I'm Whitney Welch.
Georgia College has been known for its beautiful greenery in the spring. Reporter Talia Hayes spoke with the grounds department about how they keep our campus shining in the sun.
Georgia College has always been known for their beautiful campus. I spoke with the grounds department to learn more about their hard work on our campus.
My name is Susan Daniels, and I'm the director of grounds. My main job is about leading and directing and organizing and developing the campus grounds, making sure it's clean, neat, safe, safety first, and that it adds aesthetic value to the buildings and to the people that sit around in it.
Susan comments on her fellow employees in the department and all the work they do.
My proudest thing about this campus is the employees that work for me. It's hard to get an employee to take ownership, and that's what all the grounds guys do. Some people say, oh, Susan, you do a beautiful campus. I don't do a beautiful campus. All my employees do it. They take ownership. They want to get that trash up so it looks better. They want to clean those curbs so it looks crisp and neat around the flower beds. They want to do all those things.
John is in charge of supervising the grounds and working on special projects. I spoke with him to hear what the hardest part of his job is.
We're working amongst thousands of students walking to class, so we have to be very safety conscious. We'll try to do some of our work when there are no classes going on, and to really get a lot of more hazardous work done.
Jennifer is in charge of designing and maintaining the flower beds. Being in charge of the flowers on campus requires intentionality and attention to detail.
She chose the orange snapdragons at the electric sign bed for the pop and the pizzazz. It goes with the yellow. It's a color combination. It's a very complicated process she has to go through.
Many of us don't stop and appreciate how much work goes into maintaining our campus.
Having the students or even any customer that comes to our campus and says, that is beautiful and thank you for what you do. That right there is worth just once a day having that done. That right there just, because like I've always said, we try to make this campus like a home away from home for everybody.
So, next time you see someone keeping our campus beautiful, make sure to stop and say thank you. Reporting for GC360, I'm Talia Hayes.
And with campus looking bloomy, Rebecca Dunn is here to tell us if the weather will match the flowers.
Thanks, Amelie. It looks like we're in for a pleasant stretch of spring weather. Tomorrow will bring partly cloudy skies, but don't worry, the high will reach 74 degrees and the low will drop to a cool 46 later at night. As we head into the weekend, Saturday will bring a bit cooler with a high of 70 and a low of 42 with partly sunny skies. On Sunday, the skies will look fantastic with lots of sunshine and a high of 74 and a low. I would keep the heat on at night just in case. Moving on to next week, Monday will warm us up to 80 degrees with a low of 53. Don't worry, there will be plenty of sunshine. On Tuesday, expect a cloud cover with a high around 82 degrees and a low of 49. And get ready because Wednesday will have sunny skies and a high of 78 with a low of 54. And finally, on Thursday, we'll have partly cloudy skies, a high of 72 and a low of 53 degrees. This is all I have for the weather this week. Back to you.
Thanks, Rebecca. Coming up after the break, GCSU's softball team is off to a strong start this season.
And the communication department had a showcase for professors to present their work outside of the classroom.
And student media is a fan favorite around here. WGUR hosted their annual event, and it was a huge success. All of this and more on GC360, where news comes full circle.
My name is Kathleen O'Neill, and I'm the costume shop supervisor and instructor for the theater department. So the costume department does a lot of different things. It helps teach our theater majors what costuming is for theater in general and for film. A lot of students come in to be theater majors not knowing that tech is going to have to be part of their major, and they don't know how to sew, they don't know how a costume shop works, and so that's my job to teach them. Most of the time they take the skills they learn in here and then they apply it to their life. And I hear all the time that they come in, they're like, Kathleen, I sewed a button on my pants because you taught me how to do it. And it just makes me feel good. But yes, they do take what they learn in here and apply it to their personal life.
Thank you for staying with us. We're all about sports at GC360. B. Rowan is here to tell us the latest.
Thanks, Simran. Major League Baseball season has started and the Atlanta Braves are not off to a good start, winning only 2 of the 10 games currently played, tying them for the worst win percentage for this current season. In other baseball news, on Sunday, GCSU's baseball team competed against University of South Carolina Aiken. The Bobcats won with a score of 17-6, raising their ranking in the Peach Belt Conference. On Tuesday, they went against Erskine College, winning 7-6. First baseman Braden Smith won Player of the Week for Georgia's Peach Belt Conference. Great job, Braden. Our softball team won 2 games this Tuesday, both against Shorter University, scoring both a 6-1 win and a 5-3 win. Well done. As of current Peach Belt ranks, GCSU's baseball and girls tennis team are tied for number 1 within the Peach Belt Conference. Way to go, Bobcats. As for other sports, our male tennis team currently stands at rank 4 and our softball team is at rank 3. That's all I have for sports this week. Be loud, Bobcat Nation. Back to you.
Thanks, B. The girls softball team here has been delivering strong results this season. Dinah Welch spoke with the head coach and the Peach Belt Pitcher of the Week.
Georgia College softball is in full swing this season, with the team continuing to showcase their hard work and talent. One of the standout players this week is player Tiffany Caven, who has recently earned Pitcher of the Week in her game against Lander. I had the opportunity to speak with Tiffany about what this recognition means to her.
It's honestly a blessing to be named Pitcher of the Week. I give it all to God. He put me here for a reason, so just gave it to him.
Head coach Brittany Johnson explains what it means to her when one of her players receives Pitcher of the Week.
Yeah, whenever Tiff got Pitcher of the Week, I was super happy for her. I just think as a coach, you think about all the hard work, time, and effort that she put in over the season, but really it started over the summer. Like the summer, the fall, and all of that hard work has accumulated into that award. So it's really awesome to see her hard work really come to fruition and her get that accolade.
The team continues to put in the hard work in games and the practices. Coach Johnson says more about how the team has performed so far this season.
I would say this year, this team has had a ton of fight. I think that's kind of been like the overarching theme of this season is that we fought every game until the last pitch. So whereas our results haven't been as consistent as we would like overall, we're still very successful in the Peach Belt Conference. Our record is really great there. And just the fight that this team has down to the last out, last strike, we're fighting the entire time. So that's something I'm super proud of this team over.
The team's main priority is to focus on the Peach Belt tournament that starts on May 2nd.
I know everyone on the team wants to win a championship, so I feel like that's what we're preparing for the postseason.
The Bobcats continue to push forward with passion and determination to make sure that they are ready to make a run for the championship. Reporting for GC360, I'm Dinah Welch.
Minding our way over to entertainment news, Courtney DeBacke is here to tell us the latest.
Thanks, Simran. The new Minecraft movie has taken the box office by storm with over $160 million in the first week of the film's release. When the trailer for this film was released, fans were disappointed and unamused. However, many stopped hating the movie after seeing the tear-jerking tribute to a YouTube legend, Technoblade. Seeing his YouTube icon of a pig in a crown on screen made fans appreciate and talk positively about the film. In other Bobcat entertainment news, this past week, GCSU's theater department had their production of Dragons Love Tacos. Originally a children's book, GCSU adapted it into a black box theater production. This show brought children all around Milledgeville joy, seeing one of their favorite novels come to life. After the show, the cast stayed behind to sign autographs and take photos with the children, creating a magical experience that they will never forget. That's all I have for entertainment this week. Have a Bobcast-tastic week. Back to you.
Thanks, Courtney. The Department of Communication recently hosted a showcase to highlight professors and their work. Teresa Owen has the story.
Welcome to my knowledge, the first Comm Faculty Showcase.
The Communication Faculty Showcase held on Tuesday, March 25th, was a massive success, allowing faculty from the Department of Communication to share their work with colleagues and students alike. The organizer of the event, Dr. Colin Whitworth, talks about how they came up with the idea for the showcase.
So I went to a film screening of Professor Cook's short film, and I was the only faculty member there, and for a while I've been thinking about, we have all these people who do all these different things because we're a really broad department. And I wanted an opportunity for us to see what everybody does and let our students see what we do. And I come from a performance studies program where we have kind of student showcases regularly during my PhD program. So I put those two ideas together and kind of came up with the Comm Faculty Showcase as an opportunity for us to showcase our work.
One of the participants of this event, Lecturer of Communication Austin Cook, shares his favorite part about the showcase.
My favorite part was being able to see all my colleagues do their work. I don't think they often get their chance to promote their work in front of students, at least that's my understanding. So being able to see them perform, do their speeches and debates, doing table reads with Professor Cruz, that for me was my favorite part. I also loved seeing the reactions and the interactions that students got to offer for that, because seeing the reactions to work was great, but also seeing them interact with the professors outside of an academic setting, like a traditional academic setting, I should say, was really, it was just really invigorating for me.
The success of the Communication Faculty Showcase shows the merit in student-faculty engagement outside of the classroom, providing an opportunity for students and faculty to connect about their work and passions. Reporting for GC360, I'm Teresa Owen.
Sounds of the Spring is a set of live concerts in downtown Milledgeville, hosted by our very own student radio station, WGUR. Kara Spilo has a scoop behind the planning of this event.
This past weekend, Georgia College's radio station hosted their annual event in downtown Milledgeville. I spoke with practicum student Jaylee Ferrer-Negron about planning the event.
Basically, it's mostly just communicating with our venues, which are Buffington's, The Brick, and Blackbird, just making sure we're securing those venues, getting the bands ready, choosing our bands. Last year, we had different bands that we have this year, just so, we can have different people coming out.
I also spoke with audio engineer Ryan Merchant about how he balanced programming all three locations and dividing responsibilities.
Showed up to Blackbird before the event started, set up all of Blackbird for how it would be throughout the entire night, and then the console in there I can pre-program. So I just pre-programmed everything. That way all he had to do was hit next or slightly adjust things.
This is a great opportunity for local bands from Athens, Atlanta, and even Milledgeville to promote their music. Ryan Merchant has more to say on the topic.
It's really important for people to experience music and support their local artists and local stations. And
Jaylee Ferrer-Negron elaborates on the importance of the event.
I think it's just really good community building. The WGUR, the radio here at GCSU, is the one that, directs the event, hosting the event, making sure everything's happening. So I think it's a really good way for students to go out of their way to enjoy different types of music and just bringing the Milledgeville community together in general.
I'm Kara Spilo, reporting for GC360.
That's all for GC360 this week, Bobcats. Thank you for joining us today, and make sure you tune in next Thursday at 4 p.m. on NBC TV4 through the CableCast app. I'm Amelie Singupta.
And I'm Simran Puri. When we're not on the air, we keep you up to date on our social media. That's at GC360 News and on Instagram and YouTube, and at bobcatmultimedia.com/GC360. Always available to you where news comes full circle. See you next week.